Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar this afternoon. I'm Amy Martin, TRG's Chief Marketing Officer, and I'll be moderating today's webinar, Speaking of Success, How Guided Work Voice Solutions Are Reshaping Retail. Today, we're going to go over some cutting-edge guided work solutions and other insights that will enhance your operational efficiency to meet your company's growing demands. We'll talk about four main things. One, how to navigate current changes in retail and the supply chain. Two, the role of voice-guided solutions in addressing your challenges through improved efficiency, accuracy, and safety. Three, the specific benefits of using guided work solutions in retail settings, including rapid onboarding and customer satisfaction. And lastly, we'll explore the endless possibilities for retail technology. So before we dive in, there's a couple of housekeeping items. We definitely want this session to be interactive. So please use the chat box to submit any questions that come to mind as the discussion unfolds. We'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can. So if we don't get to yours, we'll be sure to follow up with you directly after the webinar. And finally, keep an eye out for emails from TRG after the webinar. We'll be sending a recording out along with other educational materials, and we'll have a survey available for you to provide any feedback or suggestions. So now that we've taken care of all of that stuff, let's jump in. And I'd like to go ahead and let our panelists introduce themselves. So Leslie, do you want to kick it off?
My name is Leslie Reeves, and I've been at Honeywell for 2 years, assisting companies with implementation, software, and voice picking solutions. Previously, I spent over 18 years in the wireless distribution space, working directly with wireless carriers. Happy to be here today with you all. Amy?
Hi, thank you all for joining. I'm Amy Stevens. I'm a strategic account manager with TRG. I'm based in the Atlanta area, and I've been in the business just about 25 years with the OEM and now on the partner side, helping companies solve critical business problems and deploy mobile technology to help solve those problems.
Awesome. Well, welcome to you both, and thanks for joining. And just to give the audience a little bit of background before we dive into the solutions, the industry has definitely seen a shift in retail operations and supply chain with results on the workforce and customer experiences. I'm sure you two are very familiar with that. Do either of you have any insight into the biggest changes you've seen in the industry? What areas have you seen an increase in customer expectations? What does this mean for organizations looking to foster positive customer experiences? Leslie, would you like to jump in and add some content there?
Well, thanks, Amy. I would say in the past 5 years, we have really noticed a shift in the omni-channel distribution setup in stores and in the back of the house at the distribution centers. With the customer shift from basically buying just in-store or online, we're kind of seeing a hybrid model these days where people are ordering online, picking up in the store. And with that being said, I think we're seeing a different way that we are replenishing our stores and replenishing our floor segments. I've noticed even just the other day when I was at Walmart, I walked in and they had taken up over about 300 square feet of their store to put in a location for them to use for delivery or pickup areas. And I think that is, with that being said, I think we're seeing a major shift in how we're maintaining retail within the environment. I think one thing we're seeing as well is with that change is the employment segment is getting changed as well. We're having a labor shortage within the distribution centers because now we need individual pickers picking individual orders in different segments. We're also seeing an area within the retail store where those individuals are now going through the aisles and picking orders for the customer segment. I think we're going to see a change because with voice-guided technology, this is going to help eliminate some of those shortages in the worker space. We're also going to see inefficiencies and accuracies in the picking segments as well. Amy, what do you think?
Yeah, so on the retail in-store perspective, I mean, I'm seeing retailers pay really close attention to the personalization of that shopping experience. Through data analytics and AI, they're delivering highly relevant content and product recommendations to customers, creating a really unique shopping experience. And that's really what the expectation is now. This personalization is a tailored experience based on preferences, behavior, past buying history, all really to attract and create that loyal customer. And they're doing this in order to increase basket size, increase conversion rates, and really ensure that that loyal customer returns to their store or their site each time. We're also seeing this phygital experience, and that's the combination of digital and the physical aspects of shopping. Again, this is not the exception, but it's the new normal. It also creates a unified, seamless shopping experience. And it isn't new. They're gaining popularity. We're seeing more and more examples of it. We're all familiar with self-service kiosks and QR codes. But now we're seeing retailers introduce live stream video shopping, high-tech fitting rooms, and even palm scanning for payment. Again, all of those are creating this frictionless shopping experience. And what's now happening is all the inventory accuracy is now more crucial than ever. Retailers need to make sure they've created this personal experience. Now they need to ensure that the right product is available at the right time and at the right place. We probably have all seen the example of the social media buying that's really created this situation where we're either buying from an ad or buying from an influencer, and we're wanting that item that was presented to us, very personalized. And how many times are we maybe let down because the item is either out of stock or not available in your specific size? And if the retailer can figure out how to either present the next item that says close, or even notify us as soon as that item is available, I think that would create a great experience. I think we're also seeing retailers continue to invest in AI and machine vision. They're doing this to stay ahead and remain competitive in the environment. And these technologies also provide the best shopping experience that we're all looking for. The retailer with those technologies also, is ensuring that the appropriate labor model is in place to support those new demands. The goal is obviously still taking care of the customer and providing that frictionless experience that we're all looking for. So I think the topic that we're talking about today, the guided work technology, is right on point. With all these new demands and new technologies, retailers are looking for ways to get faster and more accurate with their picking and their shipping or pickups. And I think voice is a great way for retailers to help solve those challenges and create a simple, more accurate, and efficient process.
That all makes sense. And by the way, you taught me a new word with phygital. I love that. And I'm going to start saying that. So thank you. But you both started sharing some technologies that retailers should be investing in to focus on the customer experience. Can we dive into those a bit more? So the biggest solutions that I heard you both mention is voice-guided technology, which we're here to talk about. But before we dive in any deeper, can you both elaborate on what voice-guided technology entails and what are some of the main benefits of implementing these solutions? Amy, would you mind starting?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So when you think about voice-directed technology, it's a hands-free, eyes-up solution. It creates a text-to-speech and a speech-to-text response, guiding workers through their tasks, and really allows them to focus on that task at hand. In the store, it could be a BOPUS, which is a buy online pickup in store order, or a replenishment task where they're restocking items on a shelf. And a picking example would sound something like this. The system would say refrigerated aisle 12, shelf 2, item 8 ounces of Philadelphia original cream cheese, pick 2. And the associate confirms back, all they say is 2. That confirms they've picked the item. The system updates the inventory levels in real time and then provides the next level of instruction, all of that optimizing the picking process. There's no more picking up or putting down or looking up and looking down at a mobile device. Imagine in that scenario, just even saving the associate just a few seconds per item per pick would bring a lot of efficiency savings. A couple of the benefits that I'll talk about, efficiency. So the efficiency in the picking process is greatly increased. We've seen a reduction of steps in a recent pilot of up to 30% because it's taking the associate to that logical picking path. Just imagine if you're a new associate at a large supermarket chain and you're not familiar where the items are laid out in the store. The voice technology guides the associate through the logical picking path. So there's no backtracking in the process. So it would take you through the produce section, pick all the items in the order there, then it would go to the canned goods and then the baking items, just as the store is laid out. And if the store isn't laid out like that, it's easily configurable. The second benefit I'll touch on is safety. So because this is a heads up, hands-free process, the risk of tripping or slipping is greatly reduced. Just like we shouldn't text and drive, we all know we shouldn't text and walk, and this solution helps with that as well. It's a hands-free, every hands-free workflow is a much safer environment. We all know that. And then, additional instructions can be given to the associate if an item maybe needs 2 people to pick up if it's a heavy item, or if they need to put gloves on before picking up the item. So all those kind of, could incorporate a safer environment. The other area that I think is important is it increases the customer engagement. And the reason why, so your in-store picking labor is many times your largest labor force. And because this is a heads-up solution, the associates are better able to better engage with the customers if they're in the middle of picking an order. They're not looking down at a mobile device, so it makes them much more approachable to customers. And then the final area that I'll touch on is reduction in training for new associates. So the onboarding is really quick. It adapts to a unique speech dialect and accent, reducing the need for associates to repeat phrases back. So we see new hires are much more satisfied. They are able to achieve the same level of productivity and accuracy as a more tenured associate, which leads to better retention.
Well, Amy, you mentioned some very good points about efficiency and safety and retention. I think those are extremely important, but I can think of a couple of others too that are really important. One of which, we did talk a little bit about the accuracy, but without the accuracy, you kind of go back to a couple of those pieces you were talking about before. If you don't have the right inventory at the right time, that causes, customer dissatisfaction. So accuracy is really important, I think, here. And I think another area too that I think is important to talk about is cost efficiencies. So, you think about making some increases for efficiencies or for accuracy or for safety, you're thinking, okay, this is going to cost a lot. Well, I think the benefit too here on cost efficiencies is this is a software-driven product line, right? So in most cases, you're already going to have your hardware and those sorts of things in your environment. So I think from a cost efficiency, implementing a software solution is definitely a more efficient way to make yourself more accurate. And with accuracy, we are seeing in this environment at least a 5-10% increase. And so with those increases, it's definitely becomes more of a valuable opportunity for you all in this environment in retail.
Okay, those were great insights. And again, you both keep teaching me things. The heads up solution part of it made me rethink, how that's kind of shaping things and changing things. So thank you for that. Great insights. And Amy, while you were talking, we actually did get a audience question. So I'm going to read it and shoot it over to you, Leslie. Is there a certain area of retail operations where you recommend voice the most? Is it mainly to be used in a DC setting for order picking?
Well, that's a great question. I would say in the past, we've always recommended it for a distribution center. And that's kind of where voice got its life from, right? We've been using it there for many, many years. But I think with the change in the environments we're seeing it being used in many areas. And in retail, I think we're going to be able to see that in that replenishment state and in those online order picking areas. And this is going to be an evolution for us to really get into something a little bit different and a little bit more of a different workflow than we've used before. We're also maybe even, using it for, how to inspect a slicing machine in the deli. So there's just some areas that I think we're really seeing some movement in is inspection. So anything that has a checklist that you're inspecting and or just the workflow of utilizing that direct picking locations in a retail store. So, you think about, when I go to my grocery store, it's kind of frustrating when you see the guy with the big cart going down the aisle and all of a sudden they're back in a different aisle. This will help, I think, streamline those experiences. And this is an area with some explosion in the next 5 years for sure.
Okay, so very important points to share. Every area could increase their efficiency with the right technology, right? I think we're all in agreement on that. So going
Absolutely.
off of that, what do you think the future of retail looks like with voice solutions and other technologies? Amy, I didn't know if you wanted to kick that off.
Yeah, sure. So we're going to continue to see this technology convergence for mobile workers through voice, AI, and other multimedia interfaces. Retailers have made a big investment recently in hardware and software in all of these areas. And now it's about how do you turn that investment into a faster ring at the register? Because ultimately that's really what it's about, right? How do you increase the wallet share? Customers are always going to continue to want to shop however they want, whether it's in person or online. If it's online, it's either on your phone or your computer, literally as fast as your fingers will allow. And they have multiple avenues for delivery. So this creates the need for the retailer to get smarter with their workflows. They have to be able to execute when the order comes in. They have to be able to send order acknowledgments that the order was received, it's in process, and that it's ready for pickup. And if they do this well, that's where they'll see the wallet share increase. Specifically with voice, I think we're going to see large language models get adopted so that the commands don't have to be so scripted, that the natural language can be understood. Earlier, when I shared that example of how a picking order would sound, you noticed it was very scripted. It really won't be in the future. It will, be a lot more just using the natural language. Another area that you're going to see improvements is in that Philadelphia cream cheese example. If there was no stock available, it will be able to make recommendations on the next item. And that's really going to be a game changer for the voice technology.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I mean, I think of a couple of other areas that I think will be important as well. I love the large language capabilities. That is exactly where we're going. Here at Honeywell, we're already moving in those directions. We're creating closed AI environments for our customers so that you have that capability of being able to provide feedback to your employees directly with solutions. So it's a lot faster. And those sorts of things are really important, whether you're picking the wrong cream cheese or the right cream cheese, or if you're looking for a way to fix the slicer in the deli, right? These are going to be areas where voice activating using artificial intelligent environments is going to be really important, and that is definitely in the future. I think for any voice solution that's out there. Another thing that I think you're going to see is software convergence, right? So today Honeywell has a product called Smart Talk, which is communication on your devices in between your locations all over the any location you have. There's also another it's operation intelligence, which gives you locations of hardware. It can give you details behind what your devices are, what they're doing, are their batteries low, those sorts of things. We're going to see convergence in the very near future where these three items are all converged into one solution. So I think one thing you're going to start seeing in the future as well is software convergence through artificial intelligence. And I think those are going to be some real shifts in our environment that we haven't seen in a long time. And I like it because, it's just software. It's creating a solution. It's not just buying a bunch of hardware and trying to figure out how to use it. The software is going to drive the solution that's going to improve the marketplace for all retailers.
Those were great insights. I hadn't thought of the ability to make recommendations when things are out of stock. All of those things are fascinating, which actually leads to another question that came through when you were talking. We're talking a lot about, activating voice. We have a question, what are the next steps for implementing voice in my operations, right? How do people get started? And so Amy, I thought you could kick this one off.
So having a strategic partner and one that helps you innovate and solve key challenges is crucial. And both TRG and Honeywell are up for that job. We'll help you get a strategic advantage in a very competitive retail market, ensuring your business is well equipped to navigate the complexities of today's supply chain challenges and the current demand of the retail customers. We would love an opportunity to come on site and observe your current workflows and make recommendations for how to optimize those tasks and if voice technology makes sense. One simple way we've approached it in the past is we've recreated a picking challenge. So we take 10 items with voice technology and we pick it with voice and we time it against a current workflow. It's a real quick and effective way to show if there's productivity gains to be seen by implementing voice. So again, we'd welcome the opportunity and just feel free to reach out to myself or Leslie.
Great. Okay, well, that was a great discussion. Time flies by when we're talking to smart people, so I appreciate it. Thank you again to Amy and Leslie for sharing your thoughts and expertise. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. If we couldn't get to your questions during the session, we will follow up with you shortly with some more information. And as mentioned at the top of the session, you'll be redirected to a survey after the webinar. So please take a minute or two to provide your feedback. It'll always make future sessions better. And we'll be sending out an email after the session with a recording, along with a few other resources from our technology experts, so you can share that throughout your organization. If you enjoyed this session, go follow TRG and Honeywell on LinkedIn for more content and updates on upcoming webinars. And thank you for your time today. Thanks, everyone.